All right, we are live. We are live. I'm coming at you with five. Welcome to my channel, GBoo2786. This is Gavin Richard Presents. I am the host with the most, Gavin Richard, and welcome to my platform, my channel. Hope you guys are tuning in, whoever you are, wherever you are, that you're having a great night or a great day if you're not on the no, if you're not in the northern hemisphere right now as darkness has covered the land here in New Orleans. A few days before Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is Fat Tuesday, or Carnival, which we get ready for before Lent. And basically Mardi Gras is about letting it all hang out before uh, Lent comes. That's basically what it is. Because once Mardi Gras starts at 12 o'clock, uh, and from 12 o'clock on Fat Tuesday to 12 o'clock a.m. Ash Wednesday. So now Lent begins, and we have the period of 40 days and 40 nights of fasting and praying and abstaining, although some people don't do that. But I'm getting ready for the parades and so forth. I just came back from Bacchus, actually, and getting ready in Zulu. So that's going to be a busy day. But guys, this video won't be long. Just want to talk to you all about from what you've seen in the thumbnail. Obviously, you know what I'm going to be talking about, and you guys have seen my platform. You know what I'm about. I'm going to say some things that you may not like, but this is my platform. So if you don't like it, you can go somewhere else, or you can leave a comment and say what your disagreement is, and that's fine. I can respect that. But I letting it be known, this is going to be commentary on a very touchy subject. Most people don't like it. The name calling and stuff won't be tolerated. And I'm not really, I don't like even mention that as a uh, starting out with everything, because it kind of sets the tone for stuff. And I'm usually not that type of guy all the time, but I've noticed, especially in the last 3 or 4 years, when you talk about things, especially in regards to LGBTQ or gays and lesbians or homosexuality, anything in general, people are very sensitive, and they're quick to jump on the "you're judging me" uh, bandwagon, or labeling you as a bigot or hater if you speak out in disagreement with the lifestyle of it. And it's happened more often than not now. People, I've lost friends. You lose friends because of it. You may lose a job or business, but money doesn't dictate right and wrong for me, and it shouldn't dictate right and wrong from you, because you do what's right, and God will handle it from there. Now, this is also not about me judging anyone. I'm not here to judge someone, and call them a sinner and say that they're going to hell. That's not my position. And most importantly about this, because I'm talking about Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union and their son Zion, or he likes to call himself Zion, his child. I'll just call him his child. I'm not trying to attack or come off like I'm attacking this boy, this kid, excuse me. So I just want that to be clear. However, I do have questions about how he's being raised, and especially dealing with his parents. Now, the first thing someone will say when it comes to this, and this is part of the discussion in the headline, when we say making your business goes public, when you make your business public and it going south, what I'm referring to is the fact that people will say, well, that's not your child. That's Gabrielle Union and that's Dwayne Wade's child. That's not your business. That's not that. Well, here's the thing. When you're in the public eye, unfortunately, your business is our business, because you're in the public eye. You put that stuff out, people are going to react to it, whether you like it or not. People, your dating life, your home life, anything that you do, your professional life, of course, because of your profession, everyone knows about that. But you put your business out there. And when you do that, you're open to criticism. You're open to judging, whether it's good or bad. It happens to everyone. So Dwayne Wade is not above criticism, and neither is Gabrielle Union, for that matter. And when you make, like I said again, you make that public, people are going to clap back. And this thing, of course, if you've been following the news last week or two, Dwayne Wade goes on the Ellen DeGeneres show, and Ellen DeGeneres, we know who she is, what she's about. She's a lesbian and a comedian. A comedian. I've heard some stories about her from Judge Joe that weren't too pleasant because he's met her, and basically the way he talked about her wasn't how I guess nice and bubbly as she seems. But I've never met Ellen DeGeneres. I know she's from New Orleans, so I'm not going to say anything negative about someone I didn't meet. But that's neither here nor there. But she's pro LGBTQ, and of course, she had Dwayne Wade on, and he talked about how his son is now identifying as a daughter, his daughter now, and goes by the name of Xenia. And apparently, he went further and doubled down because he said when he went on an appearance this past week on Good Morning America, he stated that his 12-year-old son, his child, who is now identifying as a girl, he had always known that they were transgender since the age of 3. And Wade said that he has known it for 9 years since she was 3 years old. He states Zaya started doing more research. She was the one that sat down with us as a family and said, "Hey, I don't think I'm gay." And she went down that list and said, "This is how I identify myself. I identify myself as a young lady. I think I'm a straight trans because I like boys." So, okay, I have to stop there. The problem, I got flack because I mentioned this on my profile. I posed the question. I said, well, if we have laws in this country that state that an 18-year-old, you can only enlist in the military when you're 18, you can only buy tobacco products when you're 18. Well, it's now 21 that they moved the law up. You can only buy alcoholic products when you're 21. You can only register to vote when you're 18. How do we let a 12-year-old decide whether they're going to make a life-changing decision as to changing their gender? Now, of course, many people, there were some who supported it because they say Dwayne Wade is a great father, is proud that he supports his child no matter what they do. And others were not so happy with it. Some, like Lil Boosie said, Dwayne, let your child be gay, but don't cut that boy dick off, Dwayne. Don't cut it off. He don't know what life is about. Don't cut it off. Our Bootsy talk. Boots, badass. Yeah, don't do it, Dwayne. No, but yeah, and Boosie obviously he stood by what he said as well as he got support from his son. His son, Tootie Raw, Terrence Hedges Jr. He actually made an Instagram post about it. Uh, and Bootsy, he's standing by what he said. He said the truth hurts. So, and of course, when you look at some of these articles, like this is from the National Reviewer, if you go on, uh, obviously CNN, if they're talking about it, or any other ESPN, whoever, they obviously do it from the standpoint of pro LGBTQ because most people, thinking people, know that there is certainly a movement within Hollywood, a movement in media and television to make homosexuality or the LGBTQ portrayed in a positive light, but also to push it on to everyone to make it think that this is natural and normal and everyone's to accept. Now, the bigger issue that people have with it is not even that. I think the reason why I reacted to it when I made that Facebook post, uh, you know, and I got some heat for it by some people who, of course, were in that community. They support it, or they're either, a strong ally with it. There were a lot of people that didn't like what I said, and I didn't care if they didn't like what I said. I stand by it. This is a 12-year-old boy, and I have a big problem when Dwayne Wade can get on television and say that his child, he knew his child was transgender since the age of 3. Since the age of 3. I've known for 9 years that this was going to happen. First off, this 9 years ago, nobody even thought of something like this. This stuff, we never thought of kids. I never saw a television show, TV shows back then where they showed, quote unquote trans kids or kids that were 6 years old that said, I'm a boy, I want to be a girl, or vice versa. And that's because they're children. As children, children's minds are not as developed. You're not even at the point of puberty. Our brains are still, there's evidence to show that even some boys, until they reach the age of 23 or 25, that they haven't matured properly yet. So, how can we make or get a 12-year-old to make a decision like this and his parents go along with it? Well, Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union. And I have to correct myself. Gabrielle Union is this child's stepmother, not his birth mother. And I remember, even when Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade, I guess, started dating at that time, uh, that mother, Dwayne Wade's wife at that time, ex-wife, I remember her living on the street, I think, at one point, and she had filed suit because she complained about Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union, engaging in sexual acts even in front of their kids. She page, Twitter, and he was talking about it tonight earlier. I saw they actually showed engaged in sexual acts allegedly with Dwayne Wade kids, sexual foreplay. So, and I even remember Gabrielle Union once even talked about I think it was on Sway in the Morning. She talked about eating ass or whatever. This was around the time she was dating. She was married to Dwayne, right? So they didn't make, but this child himself, I know he didn't. Talks about doing it with, he talked about it with us and so forth. Here's the thing, and I'm not a parent, but children, I know even from being a kid, children always look to their parents for guidance because your parents are your first teachers. They're the people that you learn from, they're the people you interact with from the time before you go to school to the time you come back home for school or they pick you up. So when you want advice for something, you need information on something, you're always going to ask dad. So the job of a parent is not to be led by the child, but to lead the child. You know, Even when you read, if you believe in the Bible, if you believe in the Ten Commandments, it says, honor thy father and thy mother so that the life which will belong on the land that your Lord has given to you. And that's the only commandment where there's actually a promise. And the reason why that's things that they say it's hard to do, but you do honor them, you respect them, and there's establishment of the family. So even at 12 years old, get along free. How can this child make this decision like that? And then you got people that get mad at you for saying, I don't agree with it. This is America. And in this country, let me just remind everyone, you're not going to agree with everything that someone does. There are people who do not believe in gay marriage. There are people that don't believe in homosexuality. There are people who support it, but there are people who don't. And that's fine. That's fine. We're supposed to be different. Everyone's not going to agree with you saying when you want to persecute someone. And I'm seeing, what's interesting is that when we're talking about bullying and protecting people's, I see bullied more are black, more blacks. But if you speak out against homosexuality based on your faith, oh, they'll take your job from you. And it's not even a matter of your religious background. There are people who are atheists don't agree with it. There are people who are agnostic who just don't think, hey, I'm not with it. Don't subscribe to religion, or just look at it from a natural perspective. Do not support it, and people get mad at them. There are people, I've known situations. You had an instance, for example, back in 2008, the CEO of the Firefox internet company got fired because he gave money, which between a man and a woman. And by law, marriage had always been between a man and a woman. You had the sister Kim Burrell who got fired. And getting back on that point, That was his First Amendment right. He could vote for whoever he wanted for and campaign for whoever he wanted. Now, if you talk him being discovered as a Nazi, okay, I could see that. But then you also have the gospel singer Kim Burrell, who made those comments in her church, and she was in church about homosexuality, and she did the song with Pharrell and oddly enough, she was supposed to be performing on Ellen. When they saw the video, they canceled her performance, and Pharrell threw her under the bus. She also lost her job as a radio host on Texas Southern School. And by the way, Texas Southern is a public school, it's a state school, it's not private. So there was a First Amendment issue that she could have mentioned. So that's one of the big problems that has happened. I know also of the Catholic adoption agencies that have to close their businesses because they won't support it. So it's not just about them, about being married. It's not about his child. I just feel a lot of people that he puts this, he's mentioned this, I think, in his documentary that they're airing on ESPN. And then on top of that, you had a case out in Texas. I'm going to put the link for you, where a 7-year-old boy was listening into a girl. The father was opposed to it. The woman's ex-husband, he was opposed to that because this was a 7-year-old kid. He's like, no, I don't think this is good. And and unfortunately, there was a black judge that ruled against him. But eventually, the state of Texas stepped in. They said we heard the matter, and they went ahead and they said, no, he gets to stay as a boy. He gets to spend time with his father. And to this day, the kid, as my understanding, he's identifying as a boy. So how can children's minds are so susceptible and young and they're growing? I can't see how someone at 3 years old could make that determination. When I was 3 years old, I wanted to be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. I wanted to be a Ghostbuster. Those are the things I thought about as kids. I didn't think. And I'm not speaking hate. I'm just speaking truth. I'm seeing it. Anytime you want to teach history, you want to force countries like, and this is what our former president, Barack Obama, we got to call him out, guys. We got to call this out. He actually went into foreign nations like Tanzania and Kenya to try to, he as far as went to threaten to withhold financial aid because many of these nations depend on third world countries. They depend on foreign aid because they have been ravaged by colonialism. They've been ravaged. Their natural resources have been taken from them. And they've gotten virtually nothing out of it. And they depend on that aid. You know what they told the president? They said, you can keep your aid. We believe in God. I actually watched the Kenyan president say that on TV, even in Uganda. And while I don't agree, obviously, with them killing homosexuals and so forth, they're serious. I don't agree with that at all. But I know that they are serious about what they believe in, their faith. And it's not just over there. It's also in Saudi Arabia, in Yemen, and those places, Arab nations, predominantly Muslim nations, they don't tolerate it. But you'll never see the United States ask them to do that. Why? Because those countries have oil. Those countries have other resources that they can control, unlike the nations in Africa who, have had to deal with 400 years of colonialism and raping and pillaging of their resources. But how does a 12 getting, but that's just part of it. It also goes to, you could look up National Security Memorandum 2000 by Henry Kissinger. This is the article that Gabrielle Union talked about eating ass. I put it in the chat box. But Henry Kissinger, he was the secretary, he was the National Secretary of Defense for Gerald Ford and for Richard Nixon. National Security Advisor, excuse me. Kissinger wrote the National Security Memorandum. And in that memorandum, they specifically mention about depopulation. Now, in December of 1974, this is a wiki article on it if you want the short version, but I'm going to post the actual full story on the National Security Memorandum, the actual PDF file I have here. So it's 123 pages long. This was classified, by the way. But right here, it's National Security Study Memorandum. The subject is implications of worldwide population growth for United States security and overseas interests. Now, why would the United States government have any interest in the population control or the population of other nations? We wonder what he's talking about here. This document was declassified on July 3rd, 1989. Okay. Specifically, this document dealt with and named several nations when it came to talking about uh, populations that he had mentioned were India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Indonesia, Thailand. The Philippines countries are projected to create 40% of all world population growth. And so in this, he mentioned specifically, I want you to listen to this, abortion as a geopolitical implications. This is the Wikipedia article. No country has reduced its population without resorting to abortion. Developing country conditions, foresight methods not only are frequently unavailable, but often fail because of ignorance, lack of preparation, misuse, and non-use. Because of these latter conditions, increasing numbers of women in the developing world have been resorting to abortion. So they talk about abortion being a form of population control. Truthfully speaking, that's why it was made public here in the United States legal. Had nothing to do with where I'm looking at the article. I want to show you specifically something that I read. Hold on. Hold on, family. Well, he states depopulation crimes in the nation, I believe it's in Venezuela. He can't set foot, from what I've been reading, he can't set foot in Venezuela. There's an actual book you can read. Christopher Hitchens did this, examine the alleged war crimes. And Christopher Hitchens was a big atheist, by the way. He examined the alleged war crimes of Henry Kissinger, the National Security Advisor, and latter United States Secretary of State for Presidents Richard Nixon and Gerald Ford. Yeah, you can all look that up. Yeah, Henry, but many people consider him a war criminal. I believe, yeah, in Venezuela he could be arrested. That's why he can never set foot. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's Venezuela. I believe it is. It's somewhere in South America. I don't want to give you false information, but I know that he's been accused of various war crimes before. Uh, and I do believe anywhere he sets, I believe it's that. But that's not here. There. I'm getting off of that. So hold on a second. Oh, okay, it's in Chile, I believe. Okay, not Venezuela, Chile. Okay, I'm sorry. This is an article I'm just reading about. But yeah, if you check out the National Security Memorandum, you'll see these things that they were talking about in Kissinger's memorandum. And while they did not specifically state homosexuality in it, they were talking about meth to depopulate the world, and they started talking about promoting alternative lifestyles and abortion and contraception, and that's why many of those products were actually introduced into those foreign nations. Some of those nations, like for instance, in the Philippines, which is a predominantly Catholic country, been known for years as being a Catholic country. I think they relented to it, and some other foreign nations that didn't accept it to it. But bringing it back to the Dwayne Wade situation, because I got off a little bit. But I want to, when I start talking about these things, the reason why I bring this up is because I want you all to look at what I'm saying and know that I'm not saying this out of ignorance and hate. I'm saying this out of what I know, of what I've read, being an educated man. See, ignorance can be cured, but stupid is forever. Ignorance is curable, not stupidity. And the oldest trick in the book, or the oldest stereotype that they said, one of the worst that they said about black people was that if you wanted to hide something from a black man, you got to put it in a book. Because many of our people don't read and don't look at information because they have family, and especially when it comes with subjects like this, they have family members who identify as that, so they don't want to speak out against them. And I understand why. You always, and yes, you can say that, yeah, Dwayne Wade is defending and speaking up for his child. And I get that. I get you want to protect your child. You want to be supportive of them and all things. But at this young age, and you're putting this out in front of the world to see about your son, about your child, excuse me, who wants to identify as a girl, or has identified as a girl. What if the child years later come to regret that decision when he's an adult? Because that has happened. There are some people who I know that have gone through that transition from articles that I've read, from research that I've done, and they've realized this was a mistake. But yet, the damage it's too late, that they can't fix it. And no, I don't think he's actually getting sex change operation. But eventually, that's what I guess they're going to be leading to. But still, the idea of taking pills and hormone pills, and I'm just not down with it. That's just me. And a lot of people think it goes too far. I think, yeah, to a degree, Dwayne Wade is using this child to promote this, yeah, and he's using it to do the documentary that he has coming on. And I'm not hating on Dwayne Wade. You're trying to push I just think this is it's you don't even hide it. This is a little boy. This is a kid. If he's an adult, it's one thing, but 12 years old making a life changing decision. And I listen to people say, well, I have people on Facebook tell me, well, they can only stop when they want. They can only do it. He's still developing. That's the issue. He doesn't know any better as a kid. When you're a child, your parents are supposed to do the work for you. And my understanding, since we're talking about support and so forth, this this child's mother, Dwayne Wade's ex-wife, I don't believe she supports it. From what I've read, she actually still calls him her son. So what is her say in all of this? Now, people may get upset that I'm mentioning all of this. People are wondering why this is an issue. This doesn't concern you. It concerns me because it concerns me because this is a child. And, if I saw a child standing on a cliff and leaning over, I wouldn't say, well, you know what, that's someone else's kid. That's not my business. No, I would try and intercede to save that kid from falling because he may not want to do this. And he may be pressured into doing this because there's certainly something going on in Hollywood, and especially in news media. Hollywood is Holly weird, and things are changing. A lot of people just don't like this. That they it goes too far. The ex-wife, the mother, is Savan Functus, and yeah, from what I'm reading, you can look at the YouTube video. Let's see, we're gonna go to it right here.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Dwayne Wade and his wife Gabrielle Union made international news this week after D Wade informed the world that his 12-year-old Zion is now a female named Zaya. But Dwayne Wade's ex-wife is apparently not on board with his new woke agenda. Dr. Sylvan Funches still refers to her youngest child, Zion Wade, as her son. While someone might ought to tell Zion's mother, Wade, because MTO News located Savan's Instagram, and according to her page, she still refers to Zion as her son. Savan hasn't spoken up publicly about 12-year-old Zion/Zaya and his gender transition, but she did post a picture of her two children, Zaya and Zion/Zaya.
Okay. I think that was Screenstar News who did that video for us. Who did that video right there that I was sharing with you all. But yeah, the mom does not support it. So latest her thoughts. Obviously, her thoughts on this with her Instagram post, and of course, she didn't expressly say it, but she basically let it be known. Obviously, when you put that up, that this is still my boy, and obviously she. People gonna be upset with me, stuff like this. Why does this bother me or other people? And I'm just looking at this here too. Cardi B supports it. But Cardi B is the last person that should be talking because Cardi B even was going around drugging men and taking their money, which was the basis for that movie. Part of that basis was the movie Hustlers was about. But yet Hustlers gets Oscar treatment and so many awards and so forth, but Bill Cosby is in jail. So it's okay when women do it, but not men. But, there's certainly double standards that go on in Hollywood, and we have that now. And, that's going to lead to my next video that I'm going to be talking about. But Black people, you should not be listening to these celebrities. They're not leaders. They're not in positions to lead, no matter how much their money are. They're just as confused as you are. They try to get on certain things, but I'm telling you, don't fall for it. It's very clear. They follow basically. Yeah, I actually see it here. Sons of My Love, that's what she put up. That's her son. She identifies that's her right too. Just like you say, Dwayne Wade has a right to raise his kid and be proud. Well, the mother, she gave birth to him. She has much as a right to be make a decision like that. And when you put them out in public again, you can't be mad if you you can't be mad when people say things about you. You can't say, for instance, if you're wearing your pants half off your behind and I see your butt crack. Same thing if I saw that want to actually be braless, that people that actually want to walk around half naked. Everybody wants to do. There are people who get offended by every little thing, any joke you tell. If I made a joke on Andy Reid. I said Andy Reid won the Super Bowl, but he lost to triglycerides. And Andy Reid is a guy who's very funny, who doesn't even take himself seriously. He'll have a stand that looks like him do stuff. And I saw one of my Facebook friends, he was upset about what I wrote. Obesity is no joke. You ain't this, you ain't that. So I'm not really bothered by talking about stuff like this because either way it goes, you can get mad. I don't care. And as far as Boosie got banned from Planet Fitness for speaking out against it. Planet Fitness though they banned someone because they opposed a transgender or a man going into the women's locker room, and those people complained about it. Planet Fitness actually kicked them out. Kicked out a black woman who was fit. So everybody's not like everything, but they want you to like and accept whatever they want. You can't have it both ways. If you're in the chat room, you can't have it both ways. If you're in the chat room, I want this video. Say who you are. We got 3 people watching. Today, I posted another article right in the description. There's a transhumanist that's running for president. I'm like, what the fuck is a transhumanist? And I looked at it. It's basically the bionic, the 6 minutes. I'm gonna put it up for you. I pulled it up for you. You guys can read it. Especially by means of science and technology. Okay. Zoltan Istaman, Republican, and he's a transhumanist. He's running for president. He's a journalist and entrepreneur. He probably doesn't have a chance of winning, but I'm trying to figure out what the hell is that. Yeah, we can evolve as people. We can actually do new things. We can advance in technology, but guess what? We still die unless you find a key to immortality. We're going to die at the end of the day. There's a given date. Yeah, Zoltan Istaman. He's running for president. He identifies as an atheist. He lives in Mill Valley, California, with his daughters and his wife, who's a physician. So that's very interesting. Yeah, I think Gabrielle is a big part of the problem with that going on. I think that she promoted that. Remember, she got with Wayne while they were separated from his wife, or while they were still married, actually. And allegedly, she was doing sex acts in front of him. And I'm reading where she talks about eating ass. So, that right there corresponding with all of this stuff going on that Dwayne has been pushing. And Dwayne Wade is him personally. It's gone off like this. Yeah, I'm not trying to. I get he's trying to defend his child and protect them, and be supportive. Yes, that is his child, but you know what? It's also his mom's child. And you know something too? We have laws in this country for a reason, and sometimes the law can step in a parent because they have a well-being to protect that child. Even when a parent thinks they're doing something they're probably not doing the right thing. It's about what's in that child's best interest. I hear it every day in court when I'm in court with child custody. That's the main thing the courts look at when they hear child custody hearings, is what is in the child's best interest. And they had to step in for that 7-year-old that issue with his father. And I think that, this tide is changing. People are now realizing how all of this stuff is just coming out, and some of them, people have a problem with it. It's also interesting, just last point, more people, the same people who are upset with me or anyone else speaking out against this transgender issue with this 12-year-old child, with Dwayne Wade's son, these were the same people that were upset with T.I. over him checking his daughter's hymen. And he talked about how he checks it exclusively. At 17 years old, they were saying, oh, she's a girl. You can't do that. That's her privacy. That's not you. That's not your business. But it was okay when he did it. It's okay when Dwayne Wade does it, but not T.I. I'm not saying that T.I. was right for it either. I thought that's not something you don't want anybody to clap back. Hey, maybe it's best to just shut up. And anyway, guys, that's it for me. I'm going to post the article on that case in Texas. This was from Life, but I'm trying to make sure I get everything said. You guys hear everything. And just donate to, please, at Cash App and Google Pay. I have those in the description box, guys. I'm out. Have a good night. Peace.